Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your weekly tarot reading for the week of November 10. My name's Wendy. I've shuffled and laid the cards, but I haven't looked at them yet. Once we're done with the tarot, we will pull an astrology card to see where this reading is affecting you specifically. So we've got the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups. I'm hearing slow and steady wins the race. I think you've maybe been too impulsive with something and it hasn't yielded the result that you wanted. And so you're taking your time to repair or rebuild or just go step by step. And that does seem to yield a better result for you. It feels like you're working on softening yourself. You could be making something for another person, putting something together like a resource for a group of people who really need the help. Because I do see a strong community and a sense of duty to that community. You know, wanting to help the downtrodden. Yeah, there's a strong sense of purpose this week, Leo. A strong sense of purpose. I do feel, though, that it feels like there's a celebration coming up and there's a question of who is there or what are, like, the parameters of this get together. It feels like there needs to be a ceremony around this offering, because I see the Knight of Cups going up to the stage here, the Four of Wands, and delivering this cup. But then we have the Queen of Swords with the Ten of Wands, and I see confessions this week. It feels like you've been carrying something that you need to get off your chest, off your shoulders. People could be confessing something that they've been carrying, that they've been feeling. I think something's been weighing heavily upon you, and this week gives you an opportunity to let it go. You're just ready to let it go, and I have to say that you're the fifth sign I've done for the week, and virtually every sign so far has gotten messages of heaviness, purge, things being revealed. It is Scorpio season, and Scorpio is so much about power and secrets and deep, deep feelings and fear of betrayal as well. And I see that in all of the signs. So I just want to give that as a comfort, because, it like everyone is kind of going through this. But ultimately it frees us, right? We're recognizing this week what makes us feel heavy and what makes us feel light and free. And, why have I been carrying this? Why do I keep this to myself? Why do I put in this effort when no one else does? Or I don't know, it feels like there's almost a rejection. It kind of feels like something that someone's been working on. I don't know, it feels like you might reject it and this person has to carry their stuff away. I don't know, some of you might have hired a worker to build something and they've taken too much time, or they haven't followed a proper structure. The Knight of Cups, they might have, it's like they take a lot of breaks and they leave the garbage in the work site or the job site or something, and it's kind of like, okay, now it's too late to finish because the winter's come, and then you have to fire them. So there's something challenging this week that feels like you reject somebody's effort or somebody's work because it just didn't measure up to the standards you were paying for or that you were expecting. I'd love to get an oracle card to see where this week is really affecting you. Water element, sensing. So what do you feel? What do you feel? Because your feelings don't lie. Do they? I guess we have to analyze where the feeling comes from. Because, for example, have, um, if you have experienced the lack consciousness, the Five of Pentacles, then you might have a wound that causes you to mistrust people or mistrust their intentions. I feel like a lot of you may have struggled with finding where you fit in, or feeling like, where do I belong? Like, what's my purpose? Like, what's my clientele? What am I really trying to connect with this week? And so sensing, feeling. What can you make people feel? What do you want to make people feel? What do you want to feel? That could be a very helpful guiding light, guiding force. There's a blessing in disguise this week. This Ace of Cups represents a burst of pressure. It does kind of feel like something's been underneath the surface. I don't know. This Knight of Wands, to me, with the Five of Pentacles, feels like you either feel quite purposeful about these people and you really want to jump in and help them. Some of you might be first responders, right? That type of work. Or you're feeling maybe some anger at feeling left out of something. And I think you're able to express that. And like I said, I do see an effort to rebuild, but I see some of you presenting ideas. You may be able to hire help. You may be able to teach someone who can do some of the heavy lifting, so to speak, for you, so that you can focus on the ideas and like the bigger picture stuff. A lot of you could be business owners, and I feel like there's an important helper or two who have very different skills, maybe, who can, like, one person sees where there's the market, there's a need for that market, and then the other person is able to does like social media or is really good at physically putting things together. Anyway, yeah, there's just this feeling of having support in the work, like really good teammates who will help you reach that goal. The good news is you have the Ten of Wands, so it feels like this week, like I said, it does represent this big purge. There's a big, like, letting it go finally. I've finally reached the finish line. Finally, I've hit my deadline. I'm able to just, like, the heaviest part is over. And I heard move for a lot of you. There's a house move. Settling into a new space. I feel like somebody wants to set up a fountain. I don't know. This Queen of Swords, is she you or is she someone else? Because she feels a bit like holier than thou. Like, I'm getting the impression that she kind of bosses people around, and that whenever she's around, you feel these storm clouds. Like, it's like someone just is always very negative. Someone is always, their heart is always bleeding, kind of thing. And you say, Wendy, our hearts are always bleeding. No, but this person is like very keenly aware of how something hurts them, and they're aware of the possibility to be hurt, which sometimes causes them to interpret things as hurtful. And that's the Five of Pentacles, right? Again, that lack consciousness, where their needs weren't being fulfilled when they were younger, and they carry that into their relationships going forward, which can cause someone to act impulsively, recklessly. It can cause someone to be too soft, too people-pleasing. So I feel like you're working on yourself as well. If you notice those aspects in yourself, I think you're making an effort to strengthen yourself, right? Queen of Swords, like, you're able to apply that wisdom and that discernment, and you're able to speak your mind, but also having the balanced perspective, recognizing, like, the wounding that is within. But a lot of you are really finding your place this week. I think you are settling in, feeling much better about things, feeling relief. um, and like I said, that Ace of Cups can be a burst of pressure, but it's like something's got to give. And that's where the Queen of Swords says, all right, goodbye. Goodbye, that's it. It's done. We can't move, like, I can't unsee that or whatever. And it's a big emotional outpouring, but it feels good to get it out of you. So that it feels like somebody really needs to just let off the steam. Speak it out loud, say it out loud. They say that those who talk out loud to themselves are healthier because it reduces inflammation. My boss and I joke about that all the time. So we're like, yeah, I'm into wellness whenever we're talking to ourselves, which is great. So that's been your reading, Leo. I hope you have a great week. Information for personal readings is below.